What's up guys, this is me so we just got a bunch of new cards announced and I have no idea actually, so yeah, who cares honestly, just gonna check it out as soon as you smash the like and subscribe button. And again, a huge shoutouts to my CRYSTRON spreadsheet, my sponsors, everything, you already know it. Okay, so the first card is Saiba, the fighting swordsmith. Oh my god, okay. every time I see the word smith though, I'm always a little concerned. It's always like a few words away from being broken. But yeah, no, it's not Fiendsmith, it's Swordsmith, so I think we're fine there. Level 7 Earth Warrior, 2k15. Very weak for level 7. Very interesting. Generic. You can only use the first and second effect once per turn. You can target one level 6 or lower warrior monster in your grave, special summon it, but its effects are negated. Also, this card cannot be used as a synchro material for the rest of the turn. Nobody cares because warriors are obviously better off as a linked turbo deck, and obviously synchro as well for Infernoble. So if anything, maybe this could be Infernoble support, but not really, because then you can't really synchro climb with this, so I don't really see the purpose, because it also negates whatever monster you revive, so I really have no idea what kind of deck can really benefit off of this card. It gets interesting though, because it has a second effect. During your opponent's main phase, you can quick effect immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon any monster using a warrior monster you control as a material, and it doesn't have to necessarily use itself, which I think is really interesting because, you know, cards like Formula Synchron and stuff like that, you always have to use itself and then other monsters as well. This one, it's just, no, you synchro summon using a warrior monster you control. So that's really cool. I think this card is nice. I don't really know if it's like broken or anything. Probably not. No, it looks like very fair actually. It's not a tuner itself. Okay. I can't really think of like a single deck that would really want to play this right now, but that doesn't mean that it's not gonna see play in the future. So you know what? I will take it. I think it's a cool card. Definitely has some nice potential. Anyways, let's get into the next wave of new cards from Valuable Book X5 promo cards. I don't even know what that is. There's no equivalent in the TCG, so, you know, I have no idea. But this one is Soul Dwelling Gaia, the Fierce Knight, or Soul of Gaia, the Fierce Knight, level 6 Earth Warrior, same stats as Gaia, and it's always treated as a Millennium card. Wow, that is really cool. Yeah, honestly, that's kind of sick. Since it is always treated as a Millennium card, but that should mean it is searchable by Sengenjin, and it is also searchable by a bunch of things, actually. Yes, okay, it's searchable. It's placeable off of Wedju Temple, and it's a level 6, which means that you can now make rank 6s in the Millennium Exodia deck. This is something that I think will be very nice for the Exodia deck. So this is really cool, and then you can only use the third effect once per turn. If a level 5 or higher monster is on the field, you can normal summon this card without tributing. This is the most annoying gimmick in the world. This is a Gaia monster in 2025 that still doesn't special summon itself. Every single freaking Gaia out there has always had this exact same gimmick for forever, and it's really shit. Like, it's so bad. Like, I don't care if I can normal summon this card without tributing. Also, considering the fact that it's always a brick on its own, because if you have nothing else, then obviously you can't summon it. Realistically, this card is super easy to summon because, you know, the Millennium deck, everything is level 5 or higher. I mean, there are some level 4s, but you're not playing them. Very easy to summon, I guess you can say, even though it's not a good effect. I would have loved it if it had the exact same claws as the other Millennium monsters, so, you know, you can place it in your hand in the spell and trap zone, and then you can summon it. That would have been fantastic, but it's fine. It's not the end of the world. I'm not gonna complain too much. Increase the levels of monsters your opponent normal or special summoned in attack position while this monster was on the field by 7. Okay, this card was so close to being insane. This card could have been the nuts against Terazio if it would just include all kinds of summons. Like, your opponent normal summons or special summons a monster, attack or defense doesn't matter. The monster becomes, you know, it jumps from level 4 to level 11. You can't make Duo Drive, you can't make Exciton, you can't make Detonator, you can't do anything. That would have been fantastic, because now you're really just playing a link-based strategy, which is, it's fine, but it's not, like, insane. I think it's way more easy to manage if you're going first, rather, if your opponent is, like, forced to go into just the Fiendsmith line, instead of, you know, having to deal with everything that he can do, like, you know, Xyz plays and stuff like that. So it's it was so close to being a great effect. Even the first effect was like so close to being better. It's not garbage, like I said. The fact that it's treated as a Millennium card is already off to like a really good start. But obviously there is a third effect. So when your opponent activates a monster effect, a quick effect, you can send one other level 5 or higher monster card you control to the grave. So obviously in the Millennium deck, the monster cards, they can be in your spell and trap zone. The cards that you place with Wedju Temple negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Okay, so just as a reminder, the Exodia deck doesn't really lose to Nibiru. It doesn't really lose to hand traps in general. It really just loses to like board breakers and decks that have a lot of gas, because the ceiling level is a little weak when it goes first. As a matter of fact, I think the Exodia deck is probably better off as a going second deck, like a rip-off version of 10 by Dragon. So I don't know, this is a cool effect. It would have been a little better if it could just negate like anything. Obviously, I'm asking for too much because the Exodia Fusion already negates spells and traps. So this is supposed to be complementary to, you know, what we already have at the current moment. So I understand why Konami is printing a card like this, and I understand why not every single Millennium Monster summons itself from the hand. Obviously, that makes sense. Otherwise, you can argue, oh, it's just gonna be like the next top tier splashable engine to play in any deck. Which again is completely understandable because the Millennium engine has been seeing play outside of Exodia. It's a really good engine. As a matter of fact, I would actually consider it to be in the top 10 best engines in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, if you have a lot of spare life points, you know, because every single time you gotta summon one of them, always gotta pay like 2,000 life points over and over. It gets a little expensive, you know, you gotta pay like 6,000 life points to summon 3 monsters so that you can make like Curious and the OCG, and then that can get your Orcus play started, etc. But in the TCG, there's pretty much none of that, so if you're playing the engine, it's really just to go into like the Fiendsmith combo, and then you can do some cool things from there. But yeah, the fact that we have a new level 6 monster definitely means that I could see a world in which you could be going for rank 8 plays, or maybe go, I don't know, like the Golem into Wedju plays the Sengenjin, and then Sengenjin summon, search this, and then normal summon, and then you got your Sengenjin, the Golem, and the Gaia, and then you can negate monster effects, so the rest of your combo basically beats Nibiru. All of that off of just one card, pretty much. That's, like I said, really cool, and yeah, I could definitely see this card seeing play in the future. But anyways, we're not done yet. We've got a third and final card to review. We haven't really reviewed too many cards, but it really does feel like there's a lot to talk about, because those cards are interesting, even though I don't think they're, you know, broken. This one and what's his face, the Synchro dude. This card, I think, is going to be the most interesting one that we'll be reviewing today. So, Vice Shark, level 4 water fish monster, 1811. You can only use the first effect once per turn. Okay, cool. It looks literally identical to the Shark Drake Vice, the rank 4 monster that requires a 3 level 4s. I remember from the anime because, yes, I have seen Yu-Gi-Oh! XL. I've seen literally every Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime from Yu-Gi-Oh! Original to Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. So yes, I can't really say I'm like a huge anime fan, but yeah, whatever. Some of them were good. Like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! GX were insane. Anyways, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can tribute 1 fish monster, so that is the cost. Special summon 1 fish monster, fish shark monster from your deck. Also, you can all special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except water monsters. Yeah, this is not really, you know, a drawback. You don't really care about that. It really just means that there is no Zeus, no Typhon, but that's about it. But yeah, okay, so that's just another 1-card starter, again, and an extender. I will absolutely take that. That is fantastic. And it also beats Veiler in the process because, you know, you go normal summon, effect tribute itself, and then, you know, if your opponent has Ash, he has Ash, but that's about it. A Shark Drake Exceeds monster that has this card as a material gains this effect. So once per turn, when a spell or trap card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card, negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that card. They only took 10 billion years to come up with a card like this. They really took way too long. Finally, it means that there is an incentive to summoning cards like, hold on a second, Shark Drake Levice. Hold on, I think it is. You gotta use a Shark Drake Exceeds monster. Okay, yeah, so yeah, no, you gotta go into Shark Drake first, and then you upgrade it into Shark Drake Levice, because that has an effect to negate monster effects. So you've got a monster effect negation and a spell and trap card negation off of pretty much 2 level 4 monsters, but you need another shark monster. I think it's Drake Shark. That one, it can be treated as 2 materials for the Exceed summon of a water Exceeds monster that requires 3 or more materials. So essentially, you're gonna have to figure out a way to summon both this and Drake Shark, and then you overlay into Shark Drake, and then Shark Drake Levice, and then you're basically just set. So that's really cool, but you do have to discard a spell, which I think is fine in the Shark deck, because you can just search like the Armored Exceeds spell card or something. That card is garbage. It's terrible to draw. It basically has like no real effect. I mean, it's basically like an equip spell, so obviously it's not good. But it's gonna be sorry, I almost died. It's gonna be your free discard fodder for the evolution of your Shark Drake into Shark Drake Levice, so that's really cool. This card is fantastic. Even if you're not trying to use the second effect, you're still at the very least trying to use the first effect. I do not know how many copies of this card you want to play. Maybe you want to play like 3 copies of this just because it's an additional 1-card starter. That would make sense. I think the shark deck really has... It doesn't really have like huge, massive consistency issues. I think you can play a lot of starters and a lot of hand shops. My biggest problem in the shark deck is that not a lot of cards really behave as good extenders. It's not like Raziel where you've got, you know, your Ice that's a normal summon, but then it's also a special summon, and then you got your X that can be a normal or a special summon, and then you got your Sword that can be a normal or special summon, and then you got a Node that is also a Monster Reborn. Almost every single card doubles down as a starter and as an extender, whereas in the Shark deck, they're either starters or they're extenders, but pretty much never, like, both at the same time. Like, if this card also had an effect to summon itself from the hand, then it would have been insanity. It really would have fixed the Shark issues completely. I really feel like I can just fold to, like, one hand shop at the current moment, and I really don't like that. You know, I get Veilered on my normal summon, and then the other cards in my hand, they pretty much do the exact same thing. Or maybe I get Ashed on my normal summon or whatever. So, if this card was just a little better, again, it would have been really cool. But then again, I can't complain when a card does 2 fantastic things, and then the first one, obviously, everybody gets the benefit off of that, and then the second one, it depends on if you really want to play the Drake Shark package, which is, you know, not only extra deck consuming, but also you gotta play, like, one not super great card in the main deck. It's not trash either, because, you know, if you search it, then you special summon it. So I think Drake Shark was kind of seeing play already, even if people weren't even trying to use it for the Shark Drake combo. But yeah, I will still be giving this card a very solid grade of 9 out of 10. I'm just a little disappointed by the fact that the Shark monsters, they don't do enough in the hand. They really just all have to be used as your normal summons, whereas the Raziel deck, I think, is just more explosive overall. So yeah, if the Shark deck wants to become a little better, then it has to become a little similar to, like, the Raziel deck. I think surfacing Big Jaws was, like, a very... You know, a good step into the right direction, because, you know, you gotta use a normal spell card first, which is a little annoying. Imagine if the Raziel monsters also required you to use, like, a normal spell card first. I mean, or a spell card, whatever. I don't really care. But yeah, I also think that this card is cool, and I think that the Synchro monster is worth looking into. But I want to hear what you guys think about all these new cards in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.